GM, we're live. This is a little board, so don't ape into a big board. Set it in chat. Don't want anyone to get swept up in the underflow. This is a LB. Why are we doing a little board? Well, I'm going to run out of big boards. Before we're ready. And how are we rewarded? We're rewarded with the 12 hole. You hate to see it. But what you don't hate to see is the Gunnar Ross here, getting in here. Good job, Gunnar Ross. Appreciate you so much. I see you got the 9. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your morning. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. We've got the Combine. The Combine has begun. The rumor mill is cranking. Arm length Twitter is in an uproar. And today, the first stuff that we really care about, as at least, from our fantasy perspective, the tight ends will be participating in drills. So exciting stuff. I mean, we all like to see the defensive players too, but when we're drafting for big board purposes, or it doesn't really matter too much for us. But Chris says, seems like a linebacker had himself a day. I know people were making AJ Brown comps earlier. Yeah, Gunnar Ross, like and sub. Thanks for saying that, because we're usually I forget. We're 9 subs away from 500. I cannot believe it. We are 9 subs away. So we are so close. Next week I have some travel happening later in the week, so we'll see. We'll see if we make when we hit 500. But we're getting so close. Appreciate each and every one of you for coming in, hanging out. Mr. Benninger, good morning to you. Hope you're having a great start to your day. I'll keep the board up as much as I can so y'all can see what's going on. Chris cares though, because he's in an ID. Oh, yeah, for sure. There are definitely many people that do care about this, especially if you're doing IDP stuff. Yep, Jake, I can't escape the right side of the board. My goodness. 500 sub Combine super stream. I don't know when I'm gonna hit it, but I'm hoping I'm in town. But yeah, I want to do something. I just don't know what that is. Yet. Bird enthusiast, GM2. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Yes, Chris, 9 subs away. A membership drive. That's what I should do. I should do it like NPR style. Like I should just interrupt the draft that you're all here for, and have some D-list celebrity talk about how much this stream has impacted their life and helps children. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off, but it would be a membership, a pledge drive would be pretty good. All right, let's do James Cook and in Jefferson. I think that is a perfectly reasonable start. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Yeah, 8-hour stream. We will see how long we go today. Greg says we can make that happen. I mean, I hope so. So I will say I will be on with PPR Tyler on his stream tonight, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. for us East Coasters. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And yeah, that'll be good. I was actually just confirming in the other window, so that will be happening tonight. Can't wait to go on with PPR Tyler. Again, he had me on his stream when I had about 60-something, 70-something subs. It was a huge help in getting me to where I am now. So I'm thrilled to be in the sweat for 500. Ricardo notes defensive tackles running a 4.840 is absurd. I agree. The speed of the athletes today is absolutely incredible. What modern conditioning and nutrition and everything can do. It is really insane how much we're pushing the limits on what people can do. Willie I've never seen you on the left side. I know. It is crazy. It is crazy. I went through last stream and I am under 8% on all 4 of Bijan, Gibbs, Chase, and Puka. You'd think I would be maybe one of those slots I would be slightly overweight on. I think one of them I have like 8.8%, I guess 8.3, so I'm technically maybe overweight. But the other ones are all sub 6. I need a Chad Kendall's exactly. Chad Kendall's tote bag. Part of our NPR pledge drive. Neighbors at 14 seems like throwing away money. That was my NPR voice. But yeah, I don't know. Though I guess the one thing about Neighbors is it does seem some positive stuff came out about his recovery. Now, glossy, kind of high production value social media content is not necessarily the best way to review things, but it does seem like the Twitter docs were happy with what they were looking at. So maybe a little bit of the Neighbors FUD we can back off on. That said, is he my favorite click there? No. I personally would put him, if you made me rank him, like at 19 and shift everyone kind of back. Maybe I don't have Pickens this high, so maybe 18. But I'd have a hard time taking him over London straight up, and I just prefer Henry, Love, Saquon, and Hampton over him. So I do have Neighbors later, but I don't know if I want a full fade, but I'm definitely gonna be underweight. Yeah, Blitzology asked PPR Tyler with the hand flapping thing to start every stream. It's a certain players like touchdown celebration. I think he said this a while ago. I forget who it was. But he didn't make it up if it was from someone, but I don't know. Maybe I should practice before I go on, and I can I could hit him with the Captain Planet move or whatever that is. I'm really not entirely sure. All right. See, this is another place where I almost feel like the decision's out of my hands. I think doing anything other than Higgins and Kyron is, I just think these are the far and away the two best clicks in this range. I don't not like the other ones, but at the turn here, I'm pretty happy to just scoop that. So far we have top click by ADP each time. The sidekick has been in agreement with us, at least in the second round. I didn't look at the first. So there we go. Just got to selly on them a little blitz. All right. I know. Last time PPR Tyler had me on, he also asked me he did one of his clips had like a hip hop artist, and he's like, "Do you know who this is?" I'm like, I have no idea who this is. I felt very old because I did not know who the music came from, but we'll see. Again, maybe I need to study up on the hand motions in some some current music. Gunnar Ross has 3.4%. Gibbs feels bad. Yeah. I guess it just depends. If you were taking Puka at 2, then you could get underweight on Gibbs. But yeah, 3.2 feels like you're running cold in two to 3 spots. Chris says Chase Brown at 20 seems crazy as far as too early. I prefer Henry and Love to him myself, but I'd rather have the mystery box in Love, and I think Derrick Henry is just straight up would rather have him. Cincinnati is definitely live to add somebody to that room. Last year they added Taj Brooks, who I don't know if he ever even saw the field, but P. Ryan was eating goal line carries and taking half the snaps, and Samaj P. Ryan is, he's a fine NFL player, but if they bring in any level of talent, it could get ugly as far as paying off at round 2. Willie says, I realize I'm in this. Of course you get the 1. I've long said this. People tune into the stream, they join these drafts, and what happens? Good thing. So I'm Willie MM. I hope you're having a great one. And I like your team so far. Bijan, Bowers, Olave, McLaurin, and Luther Burden. So nice team there. Will. Ultimate white male. I don't know. I don't really curse that often. So I'm not saying it's a 0% chance, but I don't know what it would take. So probably, I think on Kalshi or, the odds of Chad Kendall's F-bomb is probably like plus 1,000. maybe there's some value there. I don't know. FK Coolers Blitzology. It's what the NBA player Bones Highland does when he hits a three. Okay, he did say that. I don't even know enough ball to really know. Bones Highland sounds like, you're playing NBA on Halloween and they create a player like he's a skeleton, but I'm assuming that's a real person. But yeah, Bones Highland. There we go. All right, here we go on our side of the world among the living. Yeah. DeAndre Swift's not still here. I'm looking at the sidekick. Sidekick, keep up. Watson, Daniels, Evans, and then a bunch of. I just can't imagine clicking Drake May over Joe Burrow when I have T. Higgins. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can click Jaden Daniels over Joe Burrow because I do think I ever so slightly prefer that. Jordan Tyson has been a faller with the combine, with not participating in the combine. You know what? You know who I'm going to take because I don't get a lot of him. I'll take a Tyler Warren here. I think I'm going to take a Tyler Warren share. I'm a little light on him. Maybe I should take one of these elite wide receivers, but he's not a guy I want like none of. I think he's kind of he's fallen in a weird spot in the draft where I'm usually taking something else, like anything but a tight end. But again, I am going to bet on the Colts being better this year. I think it's going to be better. Craig says that would be like hearing Mr. Rogers drop bombs. Can't happen. Yeah, at 10-1 though. At 10-1, you'd love to see some F-bombs in the neighborhood, I guess. All right. Jordan Tyson does go with the very next pick. I think I read today that Carnell Tate, he said he's only going to run the 40 at the combine. So kind of interesting because I think Tyson is going to be doing the drills, but not the 40. Tate's going to be doing the 40, but not the drills. I just wish everyone did everything like in the good old days. But alas, that is not the days that we live in. Hurts goes ahead of Burrow, which I actually, honestly, I think that's correct unless you're building the stack. Hurts' ADP has come up almost a full round, but I still think at pick 67, that's pretty nice there. Where's the? Oh, I need to scroll up. Wow, yeah, the Jamar Chase drafter gets a gift. He gets Burrow all the way back at 70. So the 3-hole with a nice start there. Chase, Higgins, Jacobs, Travion, Waddle, and Joe Burrow around the 6-7 turn. So some value for Shaboy 10. Let's check in on Gunnar Ross here. Amon Ra, Omarion Hampton, Josh Allen, Zay Flowers, DeAndre Swift, Mike Evans. So just a very competent team there so far. I think for me, the only controversial thing was taking Tyler Warren, but again, don't want to have absolutely none of him. I think he's live for some fun stuff and kind of got lost in the shuffle and in the Colston Loveland mania as far as the tight ends go. Again, appreciate all of you hanging out. We are so close. We are so close to 500 subs. We are 8 subs away. We're 8 subs away. So would love to get there. We will see what happens. Y'all don't have to worry about me sweating Shane Lowry on air today because he tees off in the afternoon. So you're marked safe from Shane Lowry updates in the Cognizant Classic streets. Will Carter here. He adds Herbert and Ramondre to his team, so locks up a high-end quarterback over there. Crutch is only tuned in for that. If you want David Lipsky updates, I can give that. I need David Lipsky to make the cut because my team that's in 4th in the Pat Mayo Open has David Lipsky on it, and so it is vital that he recover from his triple bogey on 15. He went bunker water, which is Armageddon, and then you're playing shot 3 from the drop zone. Not great. Or shot, yeah. Anyway, not great. Not great. GM Chad. Hey, GM to you, Steven. Hope you're having a great day. Appreciate you so much. Yeah. Maybe David Lipsky wasn't the play. We may never know. We may never. Why is that? All right, so let's see. What do we want to do here? We are going in the mid 80s. Another fertile ground of quarterbacks. Another place where I find myself taking a lot of Kyle Pitts, but we can get different. The sidekick will be screaming at us to take Pat Mahomes because that's what the sidekick tends to do in this portion of the draft. I don't know if I actually want to do that or not. I almost think I'd rather just do Pollard, Chuba, or... Well, let me take Pollard first and then see what the sidekick says it wants me to do. It doesn't want me to take a receiver, and I kind of agree with that. I just don't feel like Mahomes is the pick here. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take we're gonna totally IKB this. We're gonna take Kyle Pitts. We're gonna try to do a little bit of a double elite tight end situation here. So we'll see if we end up with a third tight end or not. But we'll take Kyle Pitts here. We'll take Kyle Pitts. We're gonna try to get a little different. This is the little board, so I'm okay getting a little more experimental here. But so far, the team is James Cook, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Kyron, Jaden Daniels, Tyler Warren, Tony Pollard, and Kyle Pitts. We'll see what the room hands to us here. We're definitely light on wide receiver, but I do think we'll try to hit that wide receiver pocket with our next pick. Should be fertile ground there, and then in the 130s, we can hopefully add another quarterback or two. That's going to be kind of the game plan here, and maybe one of those picks will mix in a receiver. Crutches says 62%. Smotherland, who's 2.2% owned on DK, going to need to win the $3.20. I mean, let's hope that happens. Truly wondering what the afternoon weather is going to bring, because it got a little spicy out there yesterday. So going to need some of the later guys to hold on. Sammy Balamaki, though, making a valiant charge, trying to make up for starting out at +9. He's 3 under through 6, so he's only +6. So again, you guys are getting these updates. David Lipsky's got 4 feet for birdie, which is, again, vital for everything. It was supposed to be easier today than yesterday. Okay. I felt like that kept changing throughout the week. I do think early in the week they were saying AM PM stacks were the way to go. So I guess that would bear that out. Jake says Sammy's dragging down a Nico Wrighton Rasmus team. I have many such cases. Valimaki was a very popular pick this week. And my recollection of Valimaki was that he's kind of sprays it off the tee, which is bad at a watery Florida course. But then all the models and everything said he's good. And so I just went with that. And now I have Valimaki on my single entry as well. Not great. Yeah, Mahomes at 95. Notes Gunnar Ross. Some interesting stuff with the quarterbacks. We had Burrow go all the way back to the Jamar Chase drafter. Now we have Mahomes at 95. Is this the Rice drafter? No, the Rice drafter passed. Insect Friction, by the way, who we know is a good drafter. Insect Friction says, I don't want the stack. Take Steph Diggs instead. So kind of interesting. He already did have Caleb, and then he takes Stafford. So there you go. Maybe in his mind he said, I will get one of Mahomes or Stafford, but a little risky trying to push both of them there. I don't know that I would have passed on Mahomes at pick 93 there with Rashee Rice, but to each his own. That's why we do these things. Dowdle, Jadarian Price, Blake Corum all go. Let's see what's coming back to us. I mean, if somehow I could get Tyler Algier, I would be euphoric, but that does seem probably unlikely. Kind of a fall in Sam Laporta. I think the golf drafters probably over here, aren't they? Sam Laporta goes to Gunnar Ross, who also has Amon Ra, so he's got a nice little bet on the Lions going. Bunch of quarterbacks here, And again, now I said I was going to double tap a couple of these receivers in this range. I will not lie to you, dear listeners. I'll take Wandale and Godwin on this one, trying to mix it up. I take a lot of Khalil Shakir, although you know what? Maybe if I have James Cook, maybe I should take Khalil Shakir, and we build a Buffalo bet here. And I know I get flack in certain communities for my my Khalil Shakir take, but I like Khalil Shakir this year, so I'm gonna do that. You know, slappies be darned. We're gonna live our truth and say that Khalil Shakir hits a little positive touchdown regression. G to the M to you, Purple Yosh. Appreciate you coming by so much. Hope you're having a great one. Steven said, y'all are talking golf. I saw Nico and then thought, who are these other three wide receivers? Yeah, Nico Echeverria absolutely crushing it. I don't know how he would fare over the middle, especially with Stroud throwing to him. But yeah, he is having himself a tournament right now. David Lipsky did make birdie, so he's 2 over, but he has played the tougher back 9. So let's see him make a charge. Be a hero. Be a hero, Mr. Lipsky. I actually want to see. I might be winning the PME right now. I'm not sure. No, I'm not. Fake news. Fake news. I'm in 8th. That's okay. Yep, 9 subs from. Well, we don't want fake accounts because we don't want to hit 500 and then dip back below. But I love the spirit. I love where your head's at, Purple Yoshi. Appreciate you so much. But yeah, you know, if your roommate leaves their phone lying around and they have the YouTube app, it sounds like they would really enjoy being a subscriber to this channel. I've stayed at an Airbnb and they had the Roku, and someone left themselves logged in on YouTube, and I was like, hello, new subscriber. But I didn't do it because, you know, I didn't want to pollute their algo. They looked like they were really into real estate and trying to make something of their life, so I didn't want them to get derailed. But it was tempting. It was tempting. To Michael Wave, GM to you. Hope you're having a great one. Appreciate you so much. Crutch is noting that if I had known Wrighton had flow, I might have clicked on one and done. He is in that that Mayo lineup that I have. That's in 8th right now. I don't think I was aware of that either. I have to be honest. But I also thought Marco Penge was from Norway. So my Norwegian golf knowledge is not where it needs to be. Again, I don't know why I thought that. I don't know why I was so confused about Marco Penge. It really bothers me because I'm try to be very up on these Euros migrating over to the PGA Tour. And I must have just seen his flag wrong once, or gotten the St. George's cross mixed up with the Scandinavian cross one time, and it just got hardwired that way. Either way, nobody cares about this. What we do care about is, will we get Mendoza here or Malik Willis? Do we want one of these running backs? What do we do? What do we do? I don't like Debo. I don't think he's going to be back in Washington either. Let's queue up Mendoza. Mendoza Dobbs is intriguing. Yeah, let's do Mendoza Dobbs. We're a little light on running back, but with Cook, Kyron, and Pollard, maybe this just ends up being a 7 running back team. I'm comfortable with those first 3, so we'll take Romeo Dobbs here. I think he is going to. I think he's going to find a nice new home. So for the audio listeners, we have a 2-3-5-2. Pretty unorthodox for me to have both Warren and Pitts on the team. A little bit lighter on running back than I usually get, but again, trying to not build the same team every time. Daniels and Mendoza, James Cook, Kyron, Tony Pollard, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Wan'Dale Robinson, Khalil Shakir, and Romeo Dobbs. And a tight end room of Tyler Warren, Kyle Pitts. Pull the board up, see what's going on. Gunnar Ross, he did ultimately got Goff to come back to him. So he did get, after he took Laporta, he did add Goff to the Amon-Ra. Takes Emmett Johnson, 129. I would have taken Emmett Johnson had he come to me. I probably would have gone Johnson, Mendoza, for anyone wondering. So like that. Sadiq goes here, first rookie tight end. Otherwise, not seeing anything too interesting. Our friend over at the one hole, he went Tyler Shuck, Chris Godwin last time. So I almost took Godwin with my pick when I took Wandale Shakir. So 12 picks later, we see Godwin find a home there. Doesn't look like anybody is doing any kind of crazy build. Everyone has 2 quarterbacks except for the 3 hole, who was the one who got gifted Burrow. So I think that makes sense, leaning into getting your Burrow stack. So a very what's the word? Just normal little board. Sometimes in little boards you see crazy stuff. This is not one. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 no Badgers in here, but everyone on their best behavior. So you know what? It's been a good draft. It's been a good draft so far. All right. Jeez Louise. David Lipsky just hit it 182 yards off the tee. Okay. I'm sure there was reason for that. Rashid Shaheed goes. Wondering if he's... no, he is not the Darnold drafter. Planning ahead to what we're going to do. Starting to look at the running backs in that range. Kamara, Tajay, Rashad White, Charbonnet, Brooks, Aaron Jones, Braylon Allen. It is a pretty brutal area. Joe Mixon's ADP has not fallen to what I think it should. It sounds like things are bad. So, I teased rumors on the thumbnail, and one of these rumors that came out was Joe Mixon was injured in some kind of freak extreme sporting event or ATVing incident. This is all rumor, so I don't know the truth behind any of it. And then got third-party surgery to avoid informing the team, and it went south, and has had multiple subsequent surgeries. So that doesn't sound great for Joe Mixon, a guy that I was at my height around 25% of. That's not good. Don't know if that's true, but based on how squirrely he and the team have been, it does not sound completely implausible that there was some kind of surgery that was not approved by the team, which is why I think they were trying to put him on the non-football injured list, and there was some back and forth there. But anyway, not great. At this point, I would be surprised if he played this year, but you know what? We will find out. Yeah, Nez Lipsky thinks he's me. Why is that's something I would make fun of my friend for doing. Did he tee off with a putter? What are we doing? I know it's a very positional course, et cetera, but that 182 yards makes me almost think like he hit a tree and it went back into the fairway or something. I don't know. All right, I would take Daniel Jones here if I could. We'll see if the room lets us. If not, then we'll grab 2 of these running backs. All right, so we'll take Danny Dimes. It's a nice stack with Tyler Warren here, and then Spears, White, Brooks. I'll take Tajay Spears, I guess. That seems fine. So we'll go Daniel Jones and Tajay Spears. So we will see if Spears and Pollard both end up on the Titans. If they do, I don't know. You could definitely argue that maybe I should maybe I should have taken someone else there. Kind of forgot I had Pollard, but Pollard could end up elsewhere. I actually think they're probably both back in Tennessee. But you know what? We will tell ourselves that having the entire backfield of the Tennessee Titans is what you're going to need in 2026. Casual 8-iron off the tee. Yeah, if you're G for Gumby, maybe, and you just pound it out there. That was I know that was off discussed. The true length. Actually, I think that there was some claim that it was going to be a carry of 180, which, I mean, hey, if you can hit your 8-iron that far, to carry it that far, that's pretty awesome. I cannot. All right, Jonathan Brooks goes. Speaking of injured players, we'll see what his status is coming into the season. I'm really curious as to what I wish there was. It was like the Masters where you could see video of every shot, even if they don't have the commentary. Hey, Hartman, GM to you. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Appreciate you so much for coming in, hanging out. We are 8 subs from 500. We are getting so close. So I am so excited to be closing in on that number. Thought about some kind of clickbaity, no, it won't end the stream till we hit 500, but I eventually will have to see my child again. So I don't think I can do that because it could be a while. All right, a slew of tight ends go. Travis Kelce, Theo Johnson there. Again, this team with Pitts and Warren will be if we take a third tight end, it won't be till the bitter end of the draft. I saw something that Stowers was interviewed so far by Denver, by the Jags, and by the Browns, which I didn't like. And then also the Eagles was scheduled. That would be great if you went to the Eagles because Goddard is likely on the move. If you went to the Browns, that sounds like Siberia to sit behind Fannin. The Strange, I think, has one more year on his deal, but I have to imagine being tight end 2 in Jacksonville for this season would not be great for Mr. Stowers. But again, tight ends can be a slow developing position, so I wouldn't be shocked if some of these late rookies we like get dismal year 1 landing spots, and then we hear from them, in a couple years. But we'll see. Omar Cooper, he goes in this draft at 174 as he continues his rise. Irish Crush, he hears third-party surgery and he says, I am in. This is a guy who was willing to see a sketchy under-the-table doctor in the dark of night to fix his ankle. So that's something appealing to Irish Crush there, taking Joe Mixon at 175. Good God. All right, what do we want to do, though? What do we want to do? I think take Bigsby is one of the clicks. I'm a little light on Surratt, but Steve over on Fanspeak was saying that this is one of his favorite clicks at cost, and I am not one to argue with Steve. So I will take Surratt, and if it goes poorly, I will yell at him. But we'll take we'll do that as a pure content consumption click. That's not someone I have formed any great opinion on myself. But again, someone whose opinion I respect is bullish on Surratt, and I think I'm underweight. So at this point, where we're varying some of these late clicks, I will grab him. I'm not sure. I think he's likely a day 2 pick. Maybe we've jumped the shark a little bit on Cooper going ahead of Surratt, but we will see. Again, Nez knows we're doing this with Cooper, right? We're all saying this is Troy Franklin, Bo Nix, Redux, but maybe it's Surratt. So we will see if he goes to the Las Vegas footballing Raiders. Jets drop bombs. GM saw you in the Dog Bowl streets last night. Threw 3 darts. No idea what I'm doing. Same. No idea what I'm doing. I watched the Badge Bros, and I try to discern what's real and what's sarcasm when they're talking some of the the scrolls. And then I donate money to the community. It's a proud tradition of mine, and I'm sad to see it come to an end, as I did not qualify last night for the Dog Bowl. This may shock you. Having 0 NBA knowledge wasn't enough. Pure vibes. I can blame it on not getting enough maxi with my 12 drafts. But yeah, I saw you had the 1 hole in one of the rooms I was in. I remember. I actually had 2 drafts canceled, so I think they were just trying to keep me out, which is a shame. Dyson Daniels, though, huge smash last evening, and that was one that Nez was calling out on the Badge Bros. If you tuned in, So kudos to Nez. Nez deserved better again. And I say this in all sincerity. Nez, I believe, got 6th last night. Probably one of the higher 1% rates in it, and didn't get there. But these qualifiers are so killer. The margins between qualifying for a seat and not in the NBA and NFL dog bowl is just fractions of a point in rotation stuff. So 1 min cash out of 3. Yeah, I think I had 2 min cashes out of 12. Not great. Yeah, evergreen. Nez would hate to win a seat, and it's good. It's good you recognize that. It would stink to win a seat and then have John win 2, because then he's gonna be like, oh, you only got 1. So it's better to just have none, and then he just feels bad about bringing up the subject. So yeah, but Nez, my God, the run good. We need to get Nez to the dog bowl. That's a big goal. All right. Anyway, what are we doing? Are we taking Big Mike Washington here? I think that's the click. I don't have much Ray Davis, but I don't have a great reason for not taking Ray Davis, other than I already have Cook, so maybe I do have a great reason for not taking him. Caleb. I know if I'm trying to suck up to Nez, I could take Caleb. I'll just take Malachi Fields as my last wide receiver here. I think that's fine. Malachi Fields is someone that I like as well here. Notre Dame kid. I think he could. I think I've seen him mocked in the first round in some of these. But all right, hold on. Crutcher says, what does Ray Davis do? Backup running back with no red zone role because QB and Cook were promised the touchdowns 3,000 years ago. Yeah, I think he's in that like pure contingency range. Like we saw that one game that he went off, and we've been clinging to that. I mean, I imagine if something happens to Cook, he's pretty valuable. I think it could end up being some kind of horrific split. Ty Johnson is still there, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know, but I think we all envision some kind of goal line back role for Ray Davis, thinking that maybe in that 3-headed backfield he could carve out something, and that just never bore out. And that's probably why I have like no Ray Davis. But if you do consider it just as a contingent upside click, then I think it's probably fine. You're not paying all that much for it. All right, let's see. Sammy Valimaki still at 3 under on the day, 6 over. He is going to need an utter hurricane to get there. But you know what? We can cross our fingers. All right, the aforementioned Stowers goes pick 212. This team will end with a running back and a tight end. Could I stop at 2 tight ends? Sure. But I just generally prefer a third with how frequently tight ends get hurt, and the functional difference between the projection on these late tight ends and the other positions is kind of low, I think. Like I imagine Pat Freiermuth and Devon Vele in a given week are probably not projecting too dissimilarly. So we will see which of these ultra late tight ends we end up with. Maybe we'll take Michael Trigg in honor of Nez. We will see. No one has taken Aaron Rodgers yet. Kind of interesting. Looking at the late quarterbacks that have been taken, it's really so we see Shadur, Brissett, and Cousins. I have trouble with the Shadur ADP, but that's what it's been at. I don't know if maybe the like ironic Pro Bowl meme has gone too far, but I will be pretty surprised if he's playing most of the season. Greg says, have you gotten to any Ollie Gordon, Chad? Team has too many issues to address running back. I think there are multiple paths for him to getting the ball, even if the team is 32nd in the league. I have not taken any Ollie Gordon. I just didn't think he looked very good last year. I feel like he is highly replaceable with a new regime coming in. You make a good point that they have much bigger problems than RB2, so they might stand pat. But I just think Ollie Gordon kind of stinks. And maybe that's unfair, but I don't know. I took plenty of him last year, but I have not gotten to that at all. Cade Otton, pretty boring selection, but one I would be willing to make here. And last running back, I mean, I could take Ollie Gordon on the team. Man, it is it's pretty dire down here, huh, guys? This is grim. Adam Randall, Roman Hemby. All right, we'll take a we'll continue with the shower narrative. We'll grab Roman Hemby here. So, and that'll wrap this team up. That'll wrap it up. So we take we try to create Indiana South here. We add Cade Otton, Roman Hemby. This team ends up being Jaden Daniels, Fernando Mendoza, Daniel Jones, James Cook, Kyron, Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, Tank Bigsby, Mike Washington, and Roman Hemby. Wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Wandale, Shakir, Romeo Dobbs, Elijah Surratt, Malachi Fields. And then a very respectable group of tight ends with Warren Pitts and Otton. So there we go. There we go. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let me update the timestamps. Get ready to fire up another one. 41. Big board 2. All right. Perfect. All right. Update the timestamp. Switch to some night driving. Emo Cowboy, it is true. I will be on PPR Tyler's channel at 6 Central, 7 Eastern. You got to start with Central when you're talking, PPR Tyler's Minnesotan stream. Respect to the host there, but yeah, excited to go on. It's going to be a great show. Greg says, I think the draft capital on Gordon/Wright will lead to one of them getting the ball when A-Chain breaks or gets traded. I feel like the right draft capital especially is here, let me pull the board up so people can see the end. I don't know. I can't get there with him. I think Wright is really bad. If you want to give Ollie Gordon, the benefit of the doubt, say he's a second-year player now and can get better, but man, I can't get there with Wright. I think Wright is really awful. All right, looking at the rest of the teams, Gunnar Ross, he takes A-Rich. So interesting. There's some rumor that he could be on the way out of Indy. Maybe he gets a chance somewhere, but oof. That seems rough. Insect Friction, he goes Mac Jones on his team. And so we see Chris Bell, and the last pick you can't see is Devon Vele, for those wondering who Mr. Irrelevant was. All right, that was fun. That was fun. I don't know how many likes I have. I don't want to have to hold the room to do another draft for likes. So please like the stream while I'm firing up another big board. Would really appreciate it. We're waiting for 4 if anyone wants to get in. We're waiting for 4. Emo Cowboy Central is God's time. That's what they say. That's what they say. Appreciate you so much, Emo Cowboy. Hope you're having a great one. One of the important 3 members of the Toxic Tower. Why can't I get a pick on the left side of the board? So far right. We're banned in the EU. I can't get a pick on the left. I don't know what I have to do. I don't know if I have to change my avatar to Bernie Sanders and AOC. Just put me on the left, please. I'll do whatever it takes. I simply cannot get a pick on the left side of the board. It is killing me. But alas, here we are. So we've got, let's see who does get good picks. Sweet Leaf, valued member of the community here. Crutches, he gets the 5. I think the 5 for me is kind of the last spot I'm happy with on the left. I don't really like 6 and 7. We talked about that yesterday. Brooklyn Bum, he gets the 6. And Bird Enthusiast is over here with me. on the 12. So my goodness, we are just in draft Siberia on the right side of the board. We'll try not to draft the exact same team again, but it just feels like we just end up with so much Kyle Pitts, because his ADP just lines up over here, and I really like him at like pick 88 or whatever it lines up with, pick 86. There you go. All right. So Gibbs goes at the 1, and we're off and running. Gibbs ahead of Bijan. So Sweetleaf, I mean, already seeing the benefits of getting in these stream drafts. Yeah, congrats to Sweetleaf. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Your draft position is a bird enthusiast. I'm telling you, I'm not making this up. Jets drop bombs. 150 wild week 1. Well, 150 Wildcats 1 week with 3 1s. Sometimes random doesn't feel random. I agree. I don't know. I know they say that it's random, but I don't think the randomizer is working as intended. I really truly don't believe it. I don't know what their formula for random seeding is, but I have some weird theory that it takes like your username into account, like in the calculation as part of the randomization. So that's why you end up clustered places. I don't know. It's a kooky theory, but I don't know how they do it, but it doesn't seem like they just put you all in a thing and then do random 1 through 12. There's something wonky, because I feel like you just get clustered. Like you get the same range of picks, like multiple drafts in a row or in the same contest. I wish they were a little more transparent, but instead they just say there's nothing wrong. All right, we'll take A-Chain and Jefferson this time. So another Jefferson team, but what are you going to do? Bird enthusiast, I'm oddly way low exposure on 5 to 7 draft position, which I'm not too mad about. Yeah. I mean, unless like it's Jonathan Taylor year, then you might be in a little bit of trouble. All right, let's see. So far the only thing too out of the ordinary was Gibbs flipping Bijan at the 1. Let's see. Crutches ended up with JSN at the 5, which is kind of normal. I feel like it's very rare to get anything but JSN at the 5, because those first 4 tend to go there. I have one draft. I think I got 1 or 2 where I got Puka at the 5, but that is a little bit uncommon. The tight ends go slightly early in this one. I think Bauer's up at 19. He had been falling. Maybe maybe that was only temporary. I don't know, but Bauer's up at 19. So we see the team shape starting to take form. Myself, I go running back, receiver. Crutches goes receiver. JSN London. Sweetleaf going Bijan Nico. And off we go. Ben Bird enthusiast, of course, goes Genty Neighbors. So the Neighbors slide appears to have been halted by the positive videos put out of him working out. So it looks like the days of mid to late first round Neighbors are at an end, and he is now moving towards the early part of the second round. But we'll see if that's sticky. And of course, free agency and the draft could always change things quite a bit. All right, 3 running backs in a row, and then Crutches takes Ken Walker. Always a nice start there. JSN London, Walker. Walker is RB1. Does not feel too bad when you get 2 receivers who truly can separate, because those can be few and far between. But what do we do? Where are we at? What are we going to do? Running back gets pretty thin at this spot. Rashee Rice goes. Boy, another T. Higgins team. I think I'm going to take Etienne over Higgins so that I don't have to make this yet another scatabo team. So we'll go A-Chain, Higgins, Jefferson, see what Bird enthusiast does here at the turn. Greg says the enemy speaks kindly and holds a knife level of tinfoil. I know that's where I'm at. I am ready to tweet like a wide receiver at underdog drafts. Because I do feel like the enemy speaks kindly and is holding a knife. All right, let's take Lad. I think that's fine. So we got A-Chain, Etienne, Jefferson, and Lad. Of course, does feel a little like buying the top on Lad, but with the McDaniel offense, we'll take a shot. I mean, we were grabbing this guy in the second round last year, and I think it's buying the. I would say buying the top, but we've seen the top, and it was even toppier than this. So maybe this isn't actually that bad of a position if we think that reverts to normal. Looking at QJ, a lot of his production was weighted so early in the year. I've kind of cooled on taking him. I thought he was a kind of a value in that around pick 100, 110 range, and now I'm not as into it as I was. Let me see what his ADP is. QJ is 86. Okay, so even earlier than my kind of mental model there. I would rather him be in this. Obviously, I'd rather players be later, but this range of receivers that I like, this Wandale, Jennings, Godwin, Reed, Shakir, Coker range, I feel like he kind of belongs a little more in that, but the market obviously disagrees pretty heavily with that assessment. All right, let's see. Oh no, the timeout. Devontae diversification. I have trouble getting to Devontae this year, and I probably shouldn't, but I've said this before. I feel like some of the Devontae scam touchdowns are going to swap to the running backs. I think there was definitely an effort to make Stafford MVP, and I think that could hurt him. Yeah, Crutches has said I have 0. I have probably not much more than 0. I'm actually curious how much do I have? I don't have any. I have no Devontae Adams. So there you go. I've also said this. I will be diversifying more post-draft, but pre-draft ultimately ends up being a small percentage of this total portfolio. So I'm okay taking these big stands. But yeah, I am also out on Devontae Adams at cost. I like a lot of the other guys. And again, I find myself taking running back where possible. There. I also don't get the front half of the board. All right, hold on. I'm going to take DeAndre Swift here, with apologies to bird enthusiasts who's getting a little bit locked out at running back slightly. It is very hard sometimes drafting on the turn if you end up in an RB hungry room, which this one kind of is. So we'll see what bird enthusiast does. Had I taken Higgins, or had gotten Higgins over Lad, I would be trying to get Burrow here. We just did an elite quarterback team from this turn, so maybe we'll try to do something a hair different. Nor will we take Tyler Warren that we did last draft. I was going to say my preference. We'll take Mekhi Lemon. We'll take a swing here at one of these rookies. Could be fun. So we got A-Chain, Jefferson, Etienne, Lad, Swift, and Lemon, making a nice alternating pattern of running back and wide receiver here. No piss boys in this room. I guess Kelly Canuck kind of spiritually is Lamb, McBride, Rashee Rice, JMO, and Tate. Let's see if they're going true 0 RB, or they're going to pull up like a Warren. No, he takes MHJ. So the piss boys live. Kelly Canuck is we'll keep an eye on how they land the plane. I do try to look at and see what the 0 RB drafters do, because it's interesting to see the different late round targets people have. Crutches, after autoing Devontae, he adds Judkins to the mix, sort of a mini tier there, I think, from Judkins to Swift, and then another tier down to Warren and who's the other one? Ramondre. That's right. Warren and Ramondre are the next group. Warren, Ramondre, and Tootin. So there goes Warren, 2 crutches. We gets up to 3 running backs. I don't know if Brooklyn Bum is in the room today, but they waited till the 5th round to take a receiver again in 2024. This was enough to get you ostracized from the best ball community. In 2026, though, it is just a common drafting strategy. Hey, Bryson X Anderson, GM to you. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Appreciate you so much coming in, hanging out this morning. We're doing some drafts. We're sweating David Lipsky. He's missing birdie putts. He's hitting it into the trees on par 5s. Not great. Not great. Sweet Leaf. How is he capitalizing on Bijan at 2? Bijan, Nico, Bucky, Egbuka, Waddle, and then he goes Tootin and T-Law. So he pairs his QB with the running back. I am so curious to see what the running back situation in Jacksonville is. It is very up in the air, and this Tootin price is either going to be such a steal or such a bad pick, and I don't think it's any in between. So again, the Tootin wars will divide the nation, but we will definitely get a lot of insight when free agency begins, which I think is in like 9 days or something. When does free agency start? I think tampering starts next week, March 11th, 4 p.m. is when free agency officially begins. But again, I forget exactly. Yeah, tampering period, big letters, exactly. That's my next Google search, is when does the tampering period begin? I think the machine will shut off if I don't take Mahomes if he's there. I'm not sure. I actually think I agree. I like Alec Pierce. Again, I kind of forgot that I don't get back-to-back picks, but I'm going to take Mahomes here. I think that's more than reasonable. So we'll grab a Mahomes share, and then let's see what the machine says for us to do. Bird Enthusiast takes Dart. Makes sense. He has Neighbors and Jadarian Price. So what do we want to do? The machine prefers Hubbard to Pollard, but I take so much Kyle Pitts here. I'll take a Pollard share. This will be a rare Pitts pass. But now I can back off of running back if I need to. Now that we have 4 here. I feel pretty... Yeah, the QB... there was a bit of a QB run there. Herbert, Dak, Mahomes, Dart. There are QB avalanches, just like how there used to be wide receiver avalanches back in the day. But it's it feels kind of weird. I think the mid tier of QB is pushed up way too much. This Caleb, T-Law, Herbert, Dak range is higher than it should be. I think I'd put Drake May in there too, but I don't want leg up to show up at my house. Whereas I don't know how different they're going to project week to week from Goff, Baker, Shuck, Darnold, Mendoza. I don't know. I feel like I kind of live in this second tier range versus some of these early ones. Like I just have real trouble paying these prices for these pocket passers here. I don't know. Crutches thinks it's a smart range, no judging. I guess for me, I think Mahomes is like in a higher tier and he's underpriced. Or I would rather take one of Daniels, Hurts, or Allen. Like I'd rather have one of those 3. And I guess Lamar, I just have like, I'm not as into Lamar this year, but if you want to put him in that 4. And so that next clump is kind of a dead range. Yeah, agree, says Crutches. But yeah, I just think these more expensive rushing quarterbacks are too cheap, and then the expensive pocket passers are too pricey. Especially when we live in a 3 QB age, when you have 3 bites at the apple on a given week, and we've seen, Drew Lock break the slate as a pocket passer. Like it can just be so random week to week. All right. Let's see. Willie MM says, I have so much JD and Hurts already. I'm not mad at all. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a position that I think I want to be more in. I'm not as overweight as I want to be. Like I wish I had more Hurts and Daniels. I'm probably a lot closer to market than I'd like to be on those guys. All right, pick 107 is coming up. We will see if the room gives me Worthy. Worthy would, of course, make a ton of sense with Mahomes. If Worthy's gone, we'll see what the machine wants us to do. We don't get Worthy because Kelly Canuck takes him. And the machine wants Monty. You know what? I'm actually going to listen, and then we're going to just take one more running back super late. I think free agent Montgomery could be a big riser, and I want more of that. So we'll take Montgomery and then see what the machine wants us to do. And now it's saying to take Dalton first aid. Interesting there. It swung ahead of all of the wide receivers on my board. So we don't get Kincaid. I mean, that's makes sense and is fine. I'd be surprised if the dart drafter here, Bird Enthusiast, didn't take Wandale, but we'll see if that's what he decides to do. Kind of curious. He takes Woody Marks. Interesting. I guess he was kind of behind at running back. All right, I'll listen to the machine, and I think this is how I have it ranked anyway, and grab Wandale. So for the audio listeners, we have a 1-5-4-0. Mahomes, A-Chain, Etienne, Swift, Pollard, Montgomery, and then a wide receiver room of Justin Jefferson, Ladd McConkey, Mekhi Lemon, and Wandale Robinson. I think I like this team so far. I think it's coming out pretty good. We're going to need to figure it out at tight end, but I now can stop at 6 running backs or even 5. I get a little uncomfortable with that and don't mind taking a one of those late contingent value backs. But if I had to stop, I definitely could. Sammy Valimaki, 4 under through 9. He's only 5 over. Making a charge at the cut line. So all eyes are on Finland right now. I'm sure the whole nation is at a standstill, waiting to see if Sammy Valimaki makes the cut at the Cognizant. I don't know, but exciting stuff there. Okay. Crutches takes the rookie, Jonah Coleman, in addition to Jordan Addison on that team. He survives the QB avalanche by taking Brock Purdy with Ricky Pearsall. So he does fortunately land on his feet there, getting a Purdy stack in the midst of all the chaos. Crutches says, weird spot with the Green Bay stack falling. Yeah. I find the turn over here on the right side of the board, you see Love Reed stacks get made. So it is a little interesting to see Love falling that far to where that was possible, almost possible, I guess, on the left. Reed went 1 pick ahead of Love there at 118 and then 119. So a big fall there for Love. The drafter there chose to pair Reed with Kraft rather than take Love and try to push Reed, which probably makes sense. I don't know if Reed would have come back to him and he already had Burrow. Crutches, hey, Stars, GM to you, first of all. Thanks so much for coming in. 5 running backs here feels fine. It does feel fine. And I probably need to break some of these orthodoxies in my draft structure, because it's so hard for me to not see the number 6 or higher next to running back. But we did use a lot of early firepower on running back. So I guess we can, play it a little more by ear and determine if we actually need to get to 6 or not. All right. Definitely going to grab another quarterback here. The question is, are we going to take 1 or 2. We'll see what Kelly Canuck does. We take a lot of Mendoza. We take a lot of Willis. Fergie would have been slightly intriguing. See what Kobini does. I think my plan is I'm going to take Romeo Dobbs and then whichever quarterback's left. I don't think Bird Enthusiast is live to take 2. I'll take one of Mendoza or Willis. I doubt he'd take both. If he did, I would take Bryce Young. So we'll see. We'll see what he does. He takes Tyrone Tracy again. I know this drafter's catching up a little at running back. He took Genty and then waited till Price, Woody Marks, and Tyrone Tracy. All right. I'll take Malik Willis on this team over Mendoza. I have a lot of Mendoza. We'll go for the pure rushing upside here. Latest rumors seem to have him going to Arizona. We will see if that's the case, but I do like some Malik Willis here. So not too bad so far. But yeah, do not be fooled by Dobbs and Willis, both with the Green Bay designation. They are both very unlikely to be back in Green Bay. All right, let's check in on some friends and family. Sweet Leaf over here at the 2. Bijan, Nico, Bucky, Egbuka, Waddle, Tootin, T-Law. Adds Jacoby Myers to the T-Law stack. And then Dowdle, Love, and Golden. Okay, so he ends up making a Green Bay stack by adding Matthew Golden to Jordan Love there. Crutches for his money. He takes Sam Darnold and adds Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert, free agent. Feels like a good pick at pick 140. And of course, Crutches is the JSN drafter. So people kind of stayed in their lanes enough to not just panic and take a quarterback at all costs. I think the one you were mostly dodging was this Kobini, who only has one quarterback through 12. Did not take Darnold there. Allowed the stack to form. Bird Enthusiast to my right. He goes Genty, Neighbors, Higgins, Devonta, Mike Evans, and then Hurts, Dart, Price, Kincaid, Woody Marks, Tracy, and Strange. So a nice kind of balanced team. Went anchor running back and then waited to draft some more running backs there. So like what Bird Enthusiast is doing. There was one 0 RB bro, Kelly Canuck, still no running backs going into the 13th round. Extreme 0 RB. This is a 0 RB extremist, Kelly Canuck. My goodness gracious. A 2073 built, 3 tight ends, 0 running backs. You're not going to see that often. Crutches gets Jordan Mason on his team. Let's go. Mason back, he says. Crutches, of course, is a Vikings fan, so he's got his finger on the pulse of all things Vikings. Could he have just gotten the Vikings RB1 in round 13? It's possible. So Mason makes sense. A good click there while we're still waiting for all the chips to fall in Minnesota, but certainly not a bad look right now. I am just gonna take Daniel Jones because I don't really want to have another Aaron Rodgers team. So I'm gonna take Danny Dimes there, not without risk coming off the Achilles, but they have gotten much better at the Achilles stuff. See what Bird Enthusiast. I don't have much Mark Andrews, but I think, gosh, I don't like Mark Andrews. I really don't. I'll take Mark Andrews. This is not my favorite click, but they did just pay the man. Isaiah Likely is going to be gone. I don't love it. I really don't, but I guess it's fine. Not my favorite not my favorite of the. I don't really have much more to say other than he looks a little dusty, but tight ends can kind of they're kind of like heavyweights in the UFC where they can play like into their 40s and just kind of lumber around the field. Yeah. Corey in the house. You ever joined redraft leagues this early in the league? RT Sports has got them go. Oh my God. What would you even be doing in a redraft league? I think it would be utter madness to have your league draft in February. No, my home league redraft stuff is completely dormant right now. Crutches thinks that Mason is mispriced in this range of outcomes. Jones cut candidate unless they go get Ken Walker. Yeah, I think you're right. I guess my worry is he didn't look very good last year, given at least the eye test. But that offense was so dysfunctional. How much can you really read into it? But I do think you're right in that buying the RB1 in Minnesota at pick 149 feels like something you should do a lot. Either way, same 1B role. People exactly. He's so much cheaper. He's so much cheaper than he was. Beastburf GM, where do we think Malik Willis goes? Haven't clicked much. I started this draft cycle saying Miami, and now I am thinking Arizona. I don't think the Dolphins can afford him. Looking at the cap, more at the cap stuff. I think the Dolphins are more likely to try to get one of those cut candidates like I don't think Cousins wants to go to Miami, but something in that range, or just stick with Ewers. I don't know. I don't think he's going to end up in Miami. I think he's going to go to Arizona. Hartman, is TJ Hockenson washed, or was this I think he's washed. I think he looked like done. But again, I know Emo Cowboy was pounding the table in one draft for Hockenson, and I was sitting at home like, I'm not that big on this guy this year. All right, let's see. I'll take Surratt here again. This is a Steve Schaup special. I want to get my exposure up a little bit on him, even if we don't have Mendoza on this team. Referred to him as the kind of player who's a QB's best friend, and so, it's either so now it's either get a dog or draft Elijah Surratt, and a dog is a long commitment. Elijah Surratt will just be on a rookie deal. So let's do Elijah Surratt. That seems like fun. And then let's take Terrence Ferguson. So seems good to me. Bird enthusiast on the turn. He took Tank Bigsby and Torrey Horton. That makes sense. Kelly Canuck, the 0 RB extremist. First running backs, they take Tajay Spears, Aaron Jones, Dylan Sampson, and Brian Robinson. For what it's worth, I don't mind the choices they've made. I feel like Spears contingent upside plus a standalone role, assuming things kind of stay the same in Tennessee, makes sense. Aaron Jones, if he does get cut, live to re-sign somewhere and have a job. Dylan Sampson's the one I don't like. I don't think he looked great, and by all accounts, Judkins will be back and healthy, but they did seem to want to run some form of committee when they were both healthy. I can't fault him too much. That's just a player take. I'm just not in on Sampson. And Brian Robinson, a free agent. Maybe they get more of a role where they land. Tiger Uppercut, 14th round. Andrews, what's not to like? Yeah, exactly. At price, at cost, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, they're going to have a new regime, so we'll see. I mean, in the past, the Ravens get in the red zone, and it's just like, okay, which tight end is scoring? So I think that's fine. Star says, asking Crutches, KOC plus, I assume, who's AR? Aaron Rodgers? Okay, for a second, I was thinking A-Rich, and that's why I was like, I don't think he's going to be into A-Rich. Corey in the house, you can get discounts on Lemon, Coleman, etc. Since they're absolutely buried, I don't mind doing some early for that reason. Lemon, Coleman. I don't know. I'm confused. Are you talking about Keon Coleman? I'm not sure who are you talking about, like Mackay Lemon? Sorry, I don't know who you mean. I'm missing that. Crutches is in on everything. He was pretty solid, better than Jones downhill. IMO. There it is. A-Rich. Okay. Oh no. A-Rich would be wild. All right. Let me make my pick. Let me make my pick, and I'm fine just taking Gunnar Helm. I think ultimately I'm going to end up liking this this tight end room. Mark Andrews, Terrence Ferguson, Gunnar Helm. That's fine. That's a competent room considering we waited so long to take anybody. So yeah, I like the way this team is coming together. Bird Enthusiast takes Are you the Ward drafter? No. He takes Io Manor. That's fine. Even sans Ward, and then Cade Otton. There's a lot of late receivers I like. I'm going to take Brashard Smith, and that will wrap the running back room, and then we'll end with 2 more receivers. So this running back room ends up with A-Chain, Etienne, Swift, Pollard, Montgomery, and Brashard Smith. The kind of bailout Mike Washington had already gone. I don't know. It gets pretty... Oh, Jonah Coleman. Got it. Rookies on RT Sports are buried. Oh, okay. Oh, you're talking about on RT Sports. Sorry, I thought you were talking about here. And I was like, Lemon goes at like pick 58. Okay. Yeah, no, I haven't done any of those. I know in my home leagues, like half the time they don't know who the rookies are. Or you get like 1 or 2 drafters who found some draft guide or something and are marginally competent. But sometimes it is fun drafting with the home league friends who have not been doing best ball drafts in February. Crutches, Pickens franchise. Did I that they signed it? I have missed that. I don't have the news up. Sorry. And my Twitter algo is not helping right now. Let's see. Pickens. I'm trying to find what happened here. Okay. I'm like finding like deleted tweets, but it looks like they tagged him. I'm seeing that they will that they are officially tagging him. Okay. I just can't imagine he's not happy about this. Oh, Underdog NFL. Okay. I'm struggling here. It's hard to multitask. Send text legend. First of all, GM to you. Hope you're having a great day. Appreciate you coming in. Jonathan Brooks has to be the worst pick at his ADP since his game is mostly built on speed after 2 ACL. Well, I'll just say this. I don't think the worst pick on the board can be anyone in the like 16th round and beyond, just because like so many of these that look like even good picks are going to be zeros. I don't know. I mean, ACL surgeries come a long way. He's also super young. He's not my favorite click, but I think he'd gotten some good coach speak or recovery news. So I don't know. But yeah, I could definitely see that being one of those like sad, like what could have been type stories for sure. Crutcher says, I've got 4 tight end and sidekick yelling at me to take a 5th. Honestly, the sidekick does not care about our traditional notions of structure. It's demanding I take Geno Smith, which we're just not going to do. We're going to take Jeremy Bernard. The sidekick doesn't know what channel it's on. That's the problem. At least it had Jeremy Bernard on the list of drafting candidates. But I cannot have Geno Smith like as the top recommendation. It's just unacceptable to me. I do not like Geno Smith here. All right, let's you know what, we'll take another swing. We'll take Isaiah Bond here. We'll take Isaiah Bond, a guy that could get there on extremely low volume. A guy that could also be out of the league sooner than later. But we'll take a shot on Isaiah Bond. It seems like, he's not taking every draft. Could be fun. If Cleveland's any better, you never know. So this team, 3-6-8-3, Mahomes, Malik Willis, Daniel Jones, A-Chain, Etienne, Swift, Pollard, Montgomery, Brashard, Smith, Justin Jefferson, Ladd, McConkey, Mekhi Lemon, Wandale, Romeo Dobbs, Elijah Surratt, Jeremy Bernard, Isaiah Bond, and then Mark Andrews, Terrence Ferguson, Gunnar Helm. And for what it's worth, I'm surprised it wasn't yelling for me to take another tight end. Richardson, man. A-Rich goes in this draft. He goes at pick 231. Bird Enthusiast takes Geno there, listening to the sidekick. Tiger Uppercut. In my home league 2 years ago, a guy said, is Michael Pittman still playing? Yeah. I had somebody in rookie year, someone drafted BTJ, and they were like, did you mean to take Michael Pittman? And it's like, no, that's a different player, man. not the same guy. Jonah Coleman. Right. If you guys don't have underdog NFL noties, what's even the point? I probably do, but I don't like to look at my phone while I'm streaming. It's too hard. Dan was considering going 4 QBs with JJMC and Cousins, but the room liked them. Yeah, they went right after there on the ramp. No notifications from Crutches. It's always demanding Geno Smith. It is. Dirt Bike Luke, first of all, GM to you. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Notes that ACL surgery affects lateral quickness more than speed. Brooks was the RB1 in his draft class. There we go. Yeah, I've always thought of it more as like impacting when you're cutting than straight line speed. But you need you need to be able to cut in the National Football League. So I mean, it's also for some of these guys a matter of trusting their knee. So that is another big thing. Like some players, it does feel like they lack the confidence to like plant and cut. And when you lose that, you're done. So I imagine he will be okay, but I certainly see the FUD. Sidekick also recommends 3 and even 4 tight ends, even if a team has power. The Sims are saying these things. That's why, and so that's, yeah. Beastburf, Tiger, Uppercut. Yeah. Chris, 4 subs added, a 495. Oh my God. We are so close. I really got sniped. Chris Bell for why you had to take Ted Hurst, another sidekick special. Your favorite Lake. I don't have any Chris Bell, and it's not because I don't like him. I default to my guys. I default to my Jeremy Bernard, my Malachi Fields, and then your Flournoys, Bonds, those guys, and I just haven't been taking them. I need to do a better job mixing them. Hey, GM, hey, appreciate you, Dirtbike Luke. Appreciate you so much. Bond, nice to see I'm not the only one clicking the Browns wide receiver. In round 20, I'll take a flyer. I mean, it could be like a poor man's Rashid Shaheed kind of situation. ACL straight line running 5 months after operation, cutting 8 or 9 months. Yeah. So again, the timeline's not the worry. It's just like two catastrophic knee injuries. GM Chad and R2D2 microphone. I recognize machines and AIs are equal. Appreciate you, Mike Rob. Appreciate you. Ultimate White Male notes that some dudes get arthritis like Todd Gurley, Sony Michelle, and Grandma. Well, I mean, the elitist of athletes. The elitist of athletes only. But yeah, it is always a shame when you get the arthritis stuff, because that doesn't go away. Like that just means they're going to be like hurting when they're older and they're young. Like you hate to see that. Crutches doesn't like Hurst. I didn't see him on the list. Would have taken McAllister. I think I took like 1 or 2 shares of Eric McAllister, but that might have been in honor of Home Alone. I'm not sure. Purple Yosh 53 watching, 1/10 for someone to sub. We get there. We are so close. Brooklyn Bum noting 5 QBs out of the 1 hole feels too. Oh, I didn't even notice. Jeez Louise. 5 quarterbacks. Who are they? Lamar, Shuck, Murray, JJ McCarthy, and Shadur. So yeah, so this will make Crutches feel better. JJ McCarthy was his 4th quarterback. Crutches getting there like Ray Allen. 100%. All right. We'll do one final draft. I'm not going to ask you guys for likes. I trust you. Oh, developer mode. All right. We need, I don't know how many likes we need. 30 likes and we'll turn off developer mode. No, but yeah, please like the stream, guys. I'll join another draft on my phone. Waiting for 4. So nobody got swept up in the underflow. And then I got to run. But this has been a ton of fun. Appreciate you all so much. It sounds, I'm hearing rumors we're only 5 away. It would be electric if we could get there. I'm not expecting we can get there on stream because that's 5 is like a good day for me if I add 5. So 5 more seems unlikely, but all right, we got the 6 hole. I said this is my least favorite spot to draft from, but it's not the 11 or 12. So we are moving up. All right, 125, big board 3. All right. Oh, the first one was actually a little board. I lied. I don't want to give false information on the timestamp. All right. This is actually our second big board of the day. The first draft we did was a little board. Oh, David Lipsky's pack. It's over. He parred the par 5, and then he made a bogey on the next hole. He's 2 over. Not great. Sammy Valimaki is 5 under through 10, charging at the cut line. The greatest comeback that ever was. We'll see if he can make it. All right, let's see. All right, we have B-Spurf at the 3, Brooklyn Bum at the 4, Crutches at the 11. So let's see. If you drop an F-bomb on PPR, Tyler, I'll get you this 5. We'll see. I don't want to have viewers that think they're getting one thing and get rug pulled. So we'll. Oh God, Crutches. I like my structure in the last one. Well, hold on. Let me just take JSN. All right, we got a JSN share here at the 6. So things are already going my way. 1 pick of ADP value. You gotta love it. Crutches like my structure in the last one. Few players I don't have much of, like Barner in the 4th tight end. My turn to be far right. Yeah, I don't have a lot of Barner, but I feel like he's someone I want like 4 to 6% of. I don't think having no Barner is going to kill you, but he's certainly live to give enough usable weeks at his price to where he's fine. And if those are what bridge you, then having him. But I'm not like, I'm not trying to get a ton of him. Wondering what they do with him and Arroyo, because Arroyo was hurt for so much. So I'm kind of interested to see when they have a full training camp, what that ends up looking like. All right, let's see. Nothing too weird so far. A-Chain Jefferson, that was how I started my last draft. I think by ADP it's Neighbors or Genty here. No, it's actually Neighbors is 16. Okay, so that probably was by ADP from Crutches in the 11. And off we go. Pick 19 for me. Spoilers. I'm gonna take a running back. If Trey McBride fell, I would have a discussion, but I'll probably go receiver running back in this one. Perfectly Cromulent in Elite Speak. First of all, appreciate you so much for coming in and hanging out. New here, sub for the cause. Can tell Crutches knows ball because he's legit mad at missing Chris Bell. Crutches does know ball. You are correct. But yeah, I should be maybe I should be adding some Chris Bell in, but it's kind of late for me. It's kind of late for me on Underdog. So we'll see. We'll see. I only have like 53 or 54 of these drafts left. So Drake London is here. Oof. I don't love Saquon, but I will take Saquon here. He's not my favorite of these running backs. I would have preferred Love, but we'll grab a Saquon Barkley share. I don't want to have a full fade on really anyone in the second round because all these guys could bury you. But yeah, Chris Bell, again, someone that I should probably be adding some more lately, but truly appreciate the sub. Perfectly Cromulent. Dirt Bike Luke, would you consider fading rookies right now during the combine and draft season to secure more floor bets as opposed to ceiling rookies? Interesting question. So I think if you're going to do that, the rookies I'd fade are the Tyson, Lemon, Tate rookies who are so early, and you are kind of drafting near the ceiling, but I would be buying the round 16 to 20 rookies who can rise, because like what's going to push that kind of top 3 trio of running backs up? They're not going to move up that much. I think it'd be hard to see them, like maybe if like the Bills take one of them moves up, but I feel like there's much more downside cases, at least as far as draft capital. But like last year, you were getting RJ Harvey in round 17 to 20. You were getting Tootin in round 17 to 20. So I think, to your point, I would consider, if you're considering that strategy, to fade the expensive rookies, but not. I don't think there's a point in fading the cheap rookies. All right, let's see. Do we get Ken Walker here? If Ken Walker is gone, we probably take Josh Allen. So we'll see what beast mode does. He takes AJ Brown. All right, yeah, I think we just take Ken Walker. Take Ken Walker. If he's back in Seattle, then we have a Seahawks mega stack. If he's not, then I think he's still a pretty good click. Bukowski saying, is the FOMO of Rashee Rice all but gone now? I don't know. I don't know quite what FOMO you're referring to. I don't know if you mean like the FOMO of missing out on the Chiefs wide receiver 1, or the FOMO of missing out on someone who could be on the commissioner's exempt list the whole season. That said, he's sliding. I mean, he's in this draft. He's hasn't gone yet. He's approaching the 3-4 turn. Crutches has the decision. Does he want to grab Rashee Rice here? We'll see. We'll get his official take. No, he takes Tet McMillan. So Rashee Rice all the way in the turn. I've heard of Rice going at 41. That's the latest I've heard him go, but I wasn't in that room. But if you've seen him go later, I'd be interested. That's as far as I've heard tale of him slide. There he goes at the 3-4 turn. So pick 37 in this draft. I will be very curious to see what comes of that. I personally think there's a very good chance that nothing happens and we're just getting a discount. But it is not without risk. I don't want to get crazy you're not getting enough of a discount, I think, to go like absolutely bonkers taking him. No, appreciate you, Dirt Bike Luke. Okay, both. Yeah, I would say that there is no FOMO. There is no FOMO on Rashee Rice. There's definitely FOMO on Javonte. Javonte continues to steam up. This draft, they're getting Javonte and Lamb, so building a bet on the Cowboys. We'll see what we do here. Do we continue to get overweight on Scatabo? I think I will continue to get overweight on Scatabo. I'm fine with that. Let's hope that both his feet point in the same direction by the start of the year. But as long as they're pointed towards the goal line, we've got a shot. Chud chat. Uh-oh. What did I do wrong now? Bukowski went 3 in a DK draft. I was in lowest I've seen. You mean in the third? But yeah, I haven't done much on DK. I'm on 38. Gotcha. So into the 4th. Yeah, nothing. I put it all on nothing. I'm Chud at the roulette wheel, and I just got the whole stack on nothing here. But I don't know. I mean, these civil allegations, the league could wait for it to play out. It could be something the league was aware of, because Rice famously met in person with Goodell after the speeding incident. Like we don't know what's been on the NFL's radar. We don't know the truth of any of these things. Like we'll see what the league does, because they're nothing if not inconsistent on these things. So trying to predict it can be a little squirrely. But what we do know is they do move slowly. So that's where I'm willing to take the risk. My preferred pick would be Burden. If Burden's gone, I think I'll skip down to Christian Watson, but we'll take a Luther Burden share. That seems like fun. It seems like a fun start to the team. So we got Saquon, Ken Walker, Scatabo, JSN, and Luther Burden. I think this lines up with Caleb. Yeah, Caleb at pick 68. So our first decision, assuming no one grabs Caleb, might be do we take Caleb at cost? Now, Colston Loveland is to my left, so I don't have to worry about the Loveland drafter, but we'll see. This drafter just took Swift, so people will go Swift, Loveland, or just take players unstacked because nothing matters. Hartman says Chiefs legal team would have handled this in a week, and I know they're slipping. Hopefully, with Bieniemy back, they're back to the not that he has anything to do with their legal team, but hopefully they're back to the cracked staff that they perhaps once were. All right, so noteworthy here, the Rice drafter, he goes Daniels Burrow, double tap there. So he stacks up T. Higgins and takes an unstacked Burrow. Interesting choice there. Crutches takes Jordan Tyson, Arizona State's own. So these three have now split pretty wide in this draft. You see them go back to back to back sometimes. In this room, they went Tate at 49, Lemon at 56, Tyson at 62. So a little bit of divergence there. I think in this case, I would take Caleb. I don't want absolutely no Caleb. These receivers are fine, but they're not my favorites. I think if Caleb's gone, then I'll take Cortland Sutton. But yeah, I'll grab a Caleb share. I think there's an argument in some teams to take Hurts over Caleb. I think in a vacuum, I prefer that, but him and Saquon, they don't always play super nice together in fantasy. So let's grab Caleb, pair him with Luther, and move on. All right, 40 likes. Love to see that. Appreciate you so much, Best Ball on Call. Appreciate all of you who have hit the like and hit the sub. We are 5 subs away. We are so close. So that is awesome stuff. Mike Robb said should be fine for the idiot Chiefs who wore free 4 shirts for Rashee Rice. Yeah. The free 4 was regrettable. It was regrettable, and I'm sure now if most of them could choose to wear the free 4 shirts, they probably wouldn't. Crutcher's kind of sick room for wide receiver, running back start. I will raise. Let's check it out from Crutches. He goes Cook, Genty, and then McMillan, Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson, Jordan Tyson. Yeah, I agree. And that's why I haven't been too mad about getting a lot of 11s and 12s, because I do agree. You get two good running backs, and then the wide receivers generally aren't that picked over. And if you want to take like a Daniels, you can, and get like an elite quarterback, and you ultimately get a shot at I think the tight ends fall nicely. You typically, if you want like a Kraft or a Pitts in the 80s, you can grab those from the turn from the when you're on that side of the board. So it's not the stone worst. What is the stone worst is how badly wide receiver dried up. It's kind of weird. Here. I think I'm going to just keep my foot on the gas with a running back. I'll take Ramondre because I'm willing to let the turn come for one of these wide receivers or a tight end there. And then again, I can feel better about backing off at running back later. Bukowski confirmed tag on Pickens. Yep. Yeah, that was the news today. So we will see. How does Crutches have any? Crutches, I think he essentially only drafts when on stream with someone that he knows. So I think actually Crutches is kind of he probably has fewer drafts done than many of us, would be my guess. But Crutches is kind enough to go out of his way to draft here. Okay, yeah, he only does slows. There you go. So you can find Crutches in the slow draft, streets, which I may be getting in because I have some travel plans coming up. Might be in a non-underdog friendly place, so you might find me in some slow draft rooms as much as I dislike slows. I've rarely done stream drafts this year, maybe done like sub 10 with you, otherwise only yeah, that was my recollection. Chris says he's got more. Yes, Chris is not doing pre-draft stuff, but is kind enough to hang out with us anyway. So appreciate you so much, Chris, and excited on the excited to see you in the BBM streets. Crutches gambled on Mahomes around the turn. He took a third. Wow, he did. He took Mahomes. He really did it. He really felt the need to take Mahomes there. My goodness, that is that's aggressive. But these people are frothy. All right, I'm gonna take Kyle Pitts here. You twist my arm. Twist my arm. I'll grab Kyle Pitts there. I would have taken Pittman, I think, because again, I'm way overexposed to Pitts. But again, I'll take Pitts at 91. I think that ADP is just completely wrong. Chris says you're good. AM hang, Chad. If only 499 people. Hey, appreciate that. Well, we're getting close. We're getting close. We're so close to 500, but we'll see when we get there. It could be today. It could be today. Going live with PPR Tyler, and he is always kind enough to promote guests, and he's platformed a lot of newer streamers, and including myself. When he had me on, I had about 60 something subs, and would have like 12 to 20 concurrent viewers. So it's really, I really appreciate it. He's very kind with his time and having people on. Crutches says, to be fair, I was timing out, but like Jacoby. Yeah, I like Jacoby there. I think he's kind of nice there in the 80s. Consider taking him over Ramondre myself, but again, I kind of would rather be pushing receiver than running back in this current landscape or hellscape. You can decide what we're living in. Yeah, Dowdle's interesting. I guess I'll take I'm pretty out on DJ Moore. I think I'll take a Xavier Worthy share. I think that's fine. If something happens with Rice, if he is suspended, I think Worthy is kind of a buy. I'm willing to chalk up some of his struggles last season to the separated shoulder. So I'll take Xavier Worthy, but and deny him to the evil Mahomes drafter who went Daniels, Burrow, Mahomes for some reason. Getting the Gen Z bump 100%. Multi-generational. God. So yeah, us millennials, we're the unks now. Cade Calendar, I've got around 100 drafts under my belt. Hey, Cade Calendar, first of all, appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Love the dog avatar there. Hope you're having a good one. Crutches notes, and now Love goes high. I could have gone the rarer Watson, Love, Reed double. Let's see. Where did Love go? Love goes at 104. Yep. He went late in the last draft at 119. He goes early here. Yeah, it is nice. Again, I like that Love Reed double tap. And like I said, it normally happens over here, not over on the left side of the board. We'll see. We'll see how Mr. Crutches lands the plane. He takes Kincaid there. So sticking with one QB and Dart while his neighbor hogs all of the quarterbacks. What do we want to do here? What do we want to do? I think I would like one of Wandale, Shakir, or Coker. If they're both gone, then I don't know. I honestly don't know what I would have done. I probably would have just grabbed Darnold there if they were both gone. So we don't have to worry about it. We're going to take somebody. Big fall for Stafford. And I think, where's the Puka? Okay, the Puka drafter's at 2. So we'll see if he makes it all the way to the Puka drafter. Or if no soup for you, just takes him. He takes Wandale. All right, I was going to take Wandale over Shakir for the Shakir police out there. The good news for me is Stafford does, I think, help the chance that that Darnold comes back to me, but not if he goes to the Brock Purdy drafter. So we'll see if we get him. The one hole doesn't have a quarterback. If they go strictly by ADP, we could be out of luck. But if we are, that's okay. We're not going to panic here. We also may not even take Darnold. So stay tuned. Harmon says, what age do you hit Unk status? Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. But we're definitely there in the eyes of Gen Z. Dirt Bike Luke asks, what contest have you won? I won the divisional round BR last year. I won a Dog Bowl seat this year. I won the Deposit Kingdom contest this year as well on a different week where I didn't qualify for it. So we've had some success in the dailies. And I was a 1v1 from running back the divisional round BR, by the way. If I had taken Mims over Bryant, I would have done it again. And I was taking Mims in those contests too. So we almost defended our title. People forget. All right, let's see what Beast Mode does. Do we take Darnold here? Do we take Darnold? We don't, because we got Beast Moded. All right, we'll take Kenny Gainwell. We will take Kenny Gainwell. That is fine. The QB thirst is real. Cade asks, I never know if I'm Gen Z or millennial at 28. 28? You're Gen Z, I think. Yeah, you're kind of on the weird border. I think you're way too young to be a millennial. Like you never played Oregon Trail in a room full of computers. Crutches says 30 is Unk IMO. Yeah, I mean it strikes before you realize it, because you don't feel unky at 30, and then you are like 32 and you try to hang with like 22-year-olds and you're like, oh yeah, I see what happened. Beastburp, I think it's when you get a nephew or niece. That could be kind of family related, but possibly. Purple Yosef, we have to ask if we're Unk. Yeah. It doesn't mean we're done. But yeah. I think uncle status hits around 17. I have an older sister. Oh my, well, no, that's too young. I'm 37 and tucked in my shirt. Says the Klee TFS. First of all, thanks for coming and hanging out. I hope you and the tucked in shirt are having a wonderful day. Appreciate you coming in and hanging out. Steven's a boomer. Yeah. And I like how boomer his Gen X is unfortunately getting sucked into boomerdom. Purple Yo's 28 is right on the line. My fiance is 20. Yeah, that has to be. Also, I feel like part of it's like when you got cell phones. Like if you've had a cell phone you're like essentially your entire life, I don't think you're a millennial. Like millennials had some period of life where they didn't have it. Chris played Oregon Trail in the early 80s. I mean, Oregon Trail is an absolutely electric game. Gen Z and Gen X for the win. Millennials and boomers are beyond annoying. I don't know. Are we? We're not that bad. All right, I'll take Mendoza on this iteration of the team. We just did Malik Willis. We'll take a Mendoza share. I'll pull the board up so people can see what's going on. Crutches adds Kyler and Goddard there, so he does end up getting a second quarterback. I do agree. There are parts of millennial culture that can be really annoying. Like the deep into Reddit Funko Pop group can rub you the wrong way depending on like what form you're interacting with them. But I think that's like a sub-genre of millennial. Yeah, dysentery will get you. Cade says, I for sure did play Oregon Trail back in the day. All right. There might be hope for you. Always go as the doctor. Yeah, but then your score's way lower. You just got to risk it as the farmer. Just load everything in and just YOLO it. Perfectly Cromulent misses the days when we died of dysentery. 100%. It was simpler back then. You shot 637 pounds. I know. I'm like, why don't we take multiple trips? I massacred the entire, bison population of North Dakota to drag back 12 pounds of meat. Or you shoot 37 squirrels and you get the same amount. Steven, no one thinks you're annoying. Surely not. Surely not. Appreciate you, Steven. Beastburst still plays Oregon Trail. There was an emulator online, but it was I played it years ago, but it wasn't quite right because you always had a fire at the exact same point in the trail, and it was annoying that there was no that element of RNG in that ROM they had. It happened every time, so it kind of like made it not as fun. But what is fun is taking Juwan Johnson. So we'll grab a Juwan Johnson share. We can back off of tight end kind of heavily. Quarterback, we're now in a late QB territory on this team for a third quarterback. Mike Robb says Oregon Trail taught us about roster construction. Yes, you put the person you like least as the last spot because you died in order. So you made sure you set out on that grueling pace, meager ration so that Tim wouldn't make it. Not so narrow cast. I think about millennials made Harry Potter practically religion and crucified J.K. Rowling. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, there's elements of millennial culture that can be a little bit, I think people associate like HR culture with millennial culture. And again, that's not every millennial. It's kind of a subset. If millennial has seen too many Marvel movies, they're cooked. Yeah. Again, these are subgenres, not the whole generation. That game totally explained bison going extinct. 100%. 100%. There was no reason to just open fire on the bison, even if you knew once you killed one, you were done. All right, let's see what we want to do here. No soup for you, only one quarterback, so they're going to run into some level of issue there. We're pretty good at running back here with these 5. I think wide receiver is the bigger position of need. Shaheed goes. I would have taken him just because I think that price is good. Pat Bryant, Jerry Jeudy. I'll take a Pat Bryant share. I like some of these second-year players, your Pat Bryants, your Hortons, that start going in this range. I think some of them have some potential upside. No, Dirt Bike Gloop. I can't do the Halo ad lib. There's some funny videos of guys getting together and doing that. I have zero singing or harmonization ability. That would people would unsub. We're trying to get to we're 4 away now, by the way. My goodness gracious. We are so close. We are 4 subs to 500. But yeah, no, appreciate you, Dirt Bike Loop. I was definitely closer to GoldenEye than Halo 2. I'll say that. My video game, what I cut my teeth playing. All right, let's see what else. I think I would prefer Ridley. Ridley goes. So there we go. Ridley is out. Trey Tucker, of course, makes sense with Mendoza. Michael Penix, if you're going to take... I do have some concern that Michael Penix is not going to be the... not going to end the year starting. They seemed a little non-committal on old Mr. Penix. I'm going to take Surratt again. I know I keep taking him, but I'm trying to get my exposure up. I'm actually not sure. Where am I at on Surratt? All right, I'm at 13%. I don't need to keep taking him then. I thought I was below market. I'm fine with that. I just didn't want to be underweight on him. Normally there, I really like Isaiah Likely, but I don't think I need to take Likely with Juwan Johnson and Pitts there. Randomizer. I have not been on the randomizer, would love to perhaps be on that one day, but I have been spared. I have been spared that. What was the primary game console? Probably N64, Hartman. N64. I mean, I played original Nintendo and SNES when I was like very young, and I played them when they were well past their date, but not like when they came out. Yeah, mostly I was probably N64. And I never played anything on Xbox. If I played anything, it was like the PlayStation. I was always more into PlayStation games than Xbox games, which is probably why I was less in on Halo. Now, I have nothing against Halo. I just never like played it. Yeah, GoldenEye, incredible. Super Mario 64 top. Yeah, Super Mario 64 was. I don't know what could come out now that would be as groundbreaking. It would have to be like a true like VR kind of experience, like moving from side scrolly to like a true open world with physics and stuff was like it really was absolutely incredible when that came out. All right, I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers here. Yeah, see, now I sound really old. I got to stop. We got to get this out before I go on with PPR Tyler. Because this is just foreign for the kids. PS2 for your boy. Yeah, PS2 is fantastic system. Fantastic system. David Lipsky though, not fantastic. Not fantastic. He's 2 over. He needs to catch fire here because I think the cut line is probably going to be -1 today. Let's see. What do they say? What are they modeling? Let's see. All right. They have a 54% of an even cut line and a 35% of a -1 cut line. So we're going to need 2 birdies in the last 3 holes from David Lipsky to have a shot. And he has no par 5s left. So we're probably in some trouble. Brian Anderson says PS2 easily for him. Purple Yoshi, imagine being a big Nintendo fan. Our friend Steampunk Mario here. Yeah, I mean, I did the Nintendo 64 was just awesome. PS2 kids grow up to own Androids. I don't know if that's just a shot at PS2 kids or Androids or both. Not so narrowcast. Do you agree that stacks don't matter as much for super early as they do later? Yeah, I think it comes down to right now. I think there's a view that you can get much better projection because the ADPs are so wrong from what the ultimate like outcomes are going to be, that you can kind of projection your way out of sorry, hold on, let me make my pick. What am I doing? I'll take Mike Washington here. We'll take our final running back. Yeah, I think it's that the value of stacking is outweighed in some cases by just the ADPs being wrong by some players of some players. So I do worry that while that may be true when you get into an individual week, when we get down to weeks 15, 16, and 17, that when a stack hits, you can just vaporize all of the just raw projection value you get just in one given week. So I do still want to stack, but not at the cost of like taking players that are materially worse. So I do caution people on like not stacking because I think if you're still building for week 17. And so you could get to week 17 and you could have a team with awesome players that all project super well. But if the Bears play the Packers and that game scores 50 points, you're going to get blown out by the Bears stacks and the Packers stacks. So that's like my fear is that we're probably going to have a really good advance rate. And yes, we will in some of those playoff weeks by virtue of just having like super teams power through. But there are going to be some of those like game environment outcomes that can kill us. B-Spurf NFL Blitz was awesome. Just power bombing the players after the play infinitely. Dirt Bike Luke, we need another Zelda Ocarina of Time. Yeah, the Zelda games were pretty cool too. They were huge when they came out as well. Now it's a narrow cast. I'm so rusty from last season. Keep missing and not prioritizing stacks. Plus the QB gets snapped up too quickly. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't stress too much. I wouldn't stress too much. I mean, also you're going to get stacks you don't know are stacks because rookies happen, trades happen, injuries happen. Like you will have more stacks than you think, and you will have less stacks than you think in certain lineups. All right, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Malik Washington, Malachi Fields. I'm gonna we'll play the hits. We'll put Malachi Fields on this team. See what happens. I've done a terrible job of this draft. I got so excited in video game chat here. All right, we'll take Malachi Fields. Let's check in on what some friends and family are doing. Crutches has James Cook, Ashton Genty, and then a solid wide receiver string of McMillan, Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson, Jordan Tyson, and Jacoby Myers. And then backed off of wide receiver Jackson Dart, David Montgomery, Kincaid, Kyler, Goddard, Spears, Tucker Schultz, and then adds Tank Dell and Jalen Lane in addition to Nick Singleton. So again, a good allocation of resources here. Started with kind of an anchor running back, hammered wide receiver, and then backed off of wide receiver until some of the late round values. So like the team that Crutches has put together here. Let's see what B-Spurf's been up to. Gibbs, Bowers, Nico, Travion, Devonta Smith paired with Hurts. Nice to get that stack there. Marvin Harrison, Sam Laporta, Goff, Krosky Merritt, Higgins with Stroud, Romeo Dobbs, a favorite of this channel, Braylon Allen, Calvin Ridley, Joe Mixon, Isaac Tesla, and Eli Stowers. So nice team there from B-Spurf. Jacoby Lane. What did I call him? What am I doing? Good God, Mr. Crutches. Jacoby Lane. Did I call him Jalen? Yeah, I apologize. Jalen's generally a good guess. There's a lot of Jalens right now. Yeah, Jacoby. All right, what are we doing here? What are we doing? I think it's Freiermuth pretty clearly to pair with Aaron Rodgers. Let's see what beast mode does. All right, we'll take Pat Fry. We're now at 3 tight ends, and we'll end with one more wide receiver. See what Mr. Crutches does coming up. Greg says, hope Mike Washington boosts the NFL draft capital with a good 40 tomorrow. 100%, because we are heavily overweight on Mike. Yeah, sorry about that. Jacoby Lane. My mental health depends on Michael Thor Bjornsson. Oh, I mean, that's me with Lipsky. We're going to, unless we get a miracle birdie, we're going to have him miss the cut on my team. That's top 10 in the Mayo, which is kind of a bummer. Crutches was out on Thor Bjornsson on Underdog Lucky. Yeah. Crutches takes Bell. Thought that would happen there. I was going to say, if Crutches passed on Bell, I would take him with my last pick. But alas, wow, capitulate. You see this sometimes. Someone ends the team with 4 tight ends. Hawkinson, Gesicki, Sinat, and Noah Gray. That's not the 4 I would pick. But to each his own. To each his own, capitulate. Capitulate's been in some of these drafters. Crutches takes Jeremy Bernard. Not to be confused with Giovanni Bernard. And what do we want to do? Who do we want to take? One of these veterans, second-year player, Vele's not a second-year player. Ted Hurst, Bond again. Eric McAllister. I don't know. I'm a little torn. The machine wants Cooper Kupp. We're not going to do that. We're also not going to take Darius Slayton, Jack Betch. You know what? If I'm going to tell you guys Isaiah Bond is a big swing, let's take a big swing. It was between him and Vele, so it's meant to be. We'll take Isaiah Bond. Last pick. 8th wide receiver. Why not? Hey, it's well-earned McDonald's. Appreciate you, Crutches. Like the team you put together. So for this team, we got a 3-6-8-3. Caleb, Mendoza, Aaron Rodgers, Saquon, Ken Walker, Scatabo, Ramondre, Gainwell, and Mike Washington Jr. Wide receiver room of JSN, Luther Burden, Xavier Worthy, Khalil Shakir, Pat Bryant, Elijah Surratt, Malachi Fields, and Isaiah Bond, and then Kyle Pitts, Juwan Johnson, and Pat Freiermuth. Zach Religious, appreciate you coming in, hanging out just in time to watch me ignore the recommendation for Cooper Kupp. So I apologize. But yeah, Zach Religious, of course, a huge part of Leg Up, one of the builders of the Sidekick, which is a fantastic tool. Appreciate you so much for coming in, hanging out, Zach Religious. Unfortunately, I'm actually about to end the stream, but we are so close to 500 subs. We are at 498. 498. We're 2 subs short of 500. We are so close. But again, appreciate all of you so much for coming in and hanging out. I will be on tonight on PPR Tyler's stream at 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see some of you there, because PPR Tyler does some fantastic stuff. But again, thanks all of you for coming in, hanging out, doing some drafts. Have a great weekend. We get huge combine information starting today. We get the tight ends running. Tomorrow we get the receivers, running backs, the quarterbacks will be throwing. So we're in the eye of the hurricane. So we will see. It's all coming together. All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'll see you soon.